The Catcher in the Rye, a novel written by G.D. Salinger. The story tells about Holden Caulfield, a teenage boy from New York City who gets expelled from prep school. In the book we come across a few minor characters with different motives. The first person we get to meet is Mr. Spencer, Holden's history teacher at Pensy Prep. He's an old man, around 70 years old. During his last weekend at Pensy, Holden visits Mr. Spencer to say goodbye, but instead of having a nice conversation, Mr. Spencer decides to give Holden a stern lecture. He shows Holden the test he failed and reads his stupid answers out loud. Finally, Mr. Spencer asks Holden, "Do you blame me for flunking you, boy?" A question which indicates Mr. Spencer really cares about Holden and his future and feels responsible for motivating the boy for school. Another minor character in the book is Sally, a pretty girl whom Holden has known and dated for a long time. Holden invents a fantasy to run away with Sally, but she refuses. The reason she does is probably because she's being realistic. She says, "We're both practically children, and did you ever stop to think about what you'd do if you didn't get a job when your money ran out?" The main theme in this book is growing up, I believe. Holden is rebelling against adulthood and is in constant conflict with himself and the world. He doesn't want to grow up and have responsibilities, but he can't stop it. I believe Holden is an extreme version of most teenagers, including me. I really wouldn't mind for adult life to wait some extra years so I can be irresponsible for a little while longer, though I'm not as rebellious as Holden is. Holden's conflicts are not only visible in his thoughts, but also shown through symbols. For example, his red hunting hat, a symbol of his uniqueness and individuality. The hat is outlandish, and it shows that Holden desires to be different from everyone around him. At the same time, he is very self-conscious about the hat. He always mentions when he is wearing it, and he often doesn't wear it if he's going to be around people he knows. The presence of the hat, therefore, mirrors the central conflict in the book. Holden's need for isolation versus his need for companionship. Another symbol in the book is the pond with ducks in the Central Park. The ducks prove that some vanishings are only temporary. The ducks vanish every winter, but they return every spring, thus symbolizing that change isn't permanent but cyclical. Also, the pond itself becomes a minor metaphor for the world as Holden sees it, because it is partly frozen and partly not frozen. The pond is in transition between two states, just as Holden is in transition between childhood and adulthood. The last symbol I'd like to mention is the title of the book, which comes from the nursery song "Coming Through the Rye." Only Holden misinterprets a part of the lyrics. He keeps picturing children playing in a field of rye near the edge of a cliff and him catching them when they start to fall off. Further explanation will be discussed in another video because my teacher told me this video should last only 4 minutes. So for now, thanks for watching.
In a body